Make sure it's done properly.
Not a problem.
Okay.
And, yeah, we can address it Thursday evening. It's not a problem, not an issue.
How's the rest of the
I would rather address it on Thursday.
Okay.
John, you clear up?
Then we can decide lead agency and go home on Thursday.
With timber trails, all we're doing tonight is the continuation.
It's all you've done.
And then
You've done it.
we'll get together.
ABC sounds like it.
So who represents it?
This Thursday. Yes, sir.
Esposito is
Can you
change.
change the public hearing? Oh, absolutely.
That's
We have to
set.
post it, we have to publicize it all.
Right, no, I understand, that's why I assume, we need to be careful on this thing.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Need a sand filter.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue on here. We have another public hearing in reference to the, which was left open, stop sign plan for Hamiltonian Park, local law number 1 of 2010. And I think you spoke to Doug about this issue, or did you not?
I did.
Good night.
Well, the public hearing is open.
We have to make a motion.
You have to make a motion to open the public hearing.
Correct.
Okay.
I'll make a motion we open up for the continuation of public hearing on Hamiltonian Park stop signs.
I second, okay, go ahead.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
So, is there anything from the public?
Yes, anything from the public, but yes, I think that probably would be best, because we do have some issues. We do have some issues and a plan that at least Doug was speaking to me about, but anyway.
Yeah.
The public first. Yes, sir.
How you doing? Gerald Maxwell, 7 Fleetwood Drive. I had originally contacted Mr. Bloomfield for one stop sign on the corner of Oakwood and Fleetwood. And I guess the way I understand it worked is he turned it over to the police department and they recommended 12.
Yeah. And I think there was one other added, so there was a total we were looking at 13, but there's 12 on the page of the public hearing.
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, my problem is I live on Fleetwood. When you come down Craigville and you make the right onto Oakwood, and you come up to Fleetwood, you need to go left or right, and there's no stop sign there. If you go left, it's treated as more of a curve in the road than an intersection. And they come around the bend on Fleetwood, and they get going pretty good. Sometime last year, I was riding my bike with my daughter. She was ahead of me. We came off a nap down the hill on Fleetwood, and a car came around the bend and almost hit her. And I followed the person to her house and said, you know, you got to slow down, you got to stop. And they had a good point. Well, no, I don't, because there's nothing posted in the development. They're absolutely right. There's no stop sign there. They get going around that turn. I know I've spoken to the gentleman a couple times in the corner of Fleetwood and Oakwood, and they ran his lawn over so many times coming through there because it was treated as a curve in the road instead of an intersection. He put up big rocks in front of his property. He said more than once in the middle of the night he hears people wreck their cars going over it until they finally got used to the rocks being there. So where I live on Fleetwood, I think it's a matter of time before a kid gets hit. A lot of kids play out there. Kids, you know, people come around that turn pretty good. There's no street lights in there, you know, so when the sun's going down, you really, you know, it's tougher to see, and they really get moving, and there's nothing that the police department can do, because there's nothing posted, there's no signs, there's no ordinance even for anything. So I would really like to see a stop sign at least at the corner of Oakwood and Fleetwood coming into the development.
So, can I ask, only because I've done some research on this.
Sure, go ahead.
So you asked that there be one stop sign place primarily, and when we did the study, they said, yeah, they can place them at all the corners. Okay. I have some input from our police chief. Can I give that as a public hearing? Thank you. And this may help you, Mr. Maxwell. At my request, he went out and did another check today and drove around. They had made up a list, and it's his opinion that traffic signals that more so than not help regulate traffic, but he sees both sides of it. The two areas, and he did cite two areas that he thought would be the compromise and for the safety of Hamiltonian parking. I'll just read you briefly what he thought, what he said. The intersection at Meadowbrook Lane and Fleetwood has very little sight distance for anyone traveling on either roadway. A stop sign should be placed at Meadowbrook. So that's number one. Bushes along the resident's property line prevent a clear view of Fleetwood. The same concern presents itself at the corner of Oakwood and Fleetwood. That's the one that you're primarily concerned with, because of limited sight distance. So he had recommended that, if anything else, or if nothing else, those are the two intersections that should have traffic control devices. Basically, that's what his memo said. So, I know everyone is given a lot of
So now the police chief is basically saying going from 12 to 2.
He's going to go from 12, he knows what the situation is and how the residents feel, so I asked him to reevaluate and see where it is a very, very important issue. He is for traffic control devices on all corners, he said, because without them, then anyone can go anywhere they want and don't have any restrictions, other than common sense restrictions. But he said, as I read to you, that he feels it's absolutely necessary on these three corners to have control devices. That's for the board's information.
Thank you. Anyone else want to speak to this issue? Go ahead, please.
Good evening, gentlemen. John Longo, 22 Fleetwood. I am all for safety. I've lived in the park for 17 years. My kids have grown up there, as have generations of kids before me. The kids do play in the street, and safety is the utmost concern of all of the residents, including myself. I concur with Mr. Maxwell's point as far as the road traveling in on Oakwood. It's somewhat of a dangerous turn in the sense that when you come on Oakwood and you make that left, you're making a quick look to the right to make sure there's nobody coming down Fleetwood over the hill. And if you don't look to the left quick enough, you know, you're right in the midst of a turn there. I think stop signs have a place. I'm not so sure that stop signs in this case necessarily solve the problem. When you come in Oakwood Drive, there is a single posted sign that says 20 miles an hour. It also states, "Children at play, drive carefully." Now, it's a sign, and that's all that it is. But enforcement is very important. For those people who don't want to stop at that stop sign, they're not going to stop. And unless there's enforcement, it doesn't really make any difference. It also doesn't alleviate the problem of the concern of any speed. Even if you're traveling 20 to 25 miles an hour, the speed limit is posted as 20. If you're coming down Fleetwood from the other side of the neighborhood and you bypass that traffic sign, you're still entering that turn at a similar, if not quicker, rate of speed than if you would have come in off of Oakwood Drive. So a single stop sign does not solve the problem. And I'm not sure necessarily what the answer is, except that, you know, we live in a community where kids are out there. With respect to Meadowbrook, years ago, there was much better line of sight between Meadowbrook and Fleetwood. That's down my neck of the woods, and you know, I'm the property right before the area where the chief is requesting the sign. You know, there's bushes there that have grown over the past 10 years that are on the owner's property that have prevented that line of sight. So, you know, maybe better care of those bushes would give that line of sight, you know, better. People walk. I think yield signs go a long way, but enforcement is really the answer. So that's all I have to say. Thank you, John.
Dave?
Dan Matteo, 21 Nap Terrace. I understand what Jerry is saying.